Alright guys, this week we'll be showing you how to create sound effects for your audio and video productions. We'll also show you how to clear unused audio regions in Pro Tools. And lastly, we'll answer a question we got from one of our viewers about mic selection when recording distorted guitars. All that coming up on this episode of Limitless Studios TV.
So this week we're going to be talking about creating some of your own sound effects that you can use in, well, you could use them in music, you could use them in video production, movies, all kinds of stuff. And we're going to be going through how we created the sound effects for our intro, actually, and we'll show you that without the music behind it a little later, so you can just hear the sound effects that we created from scratch.
Yep.
And for creating sound effects, you're going to need a few things. Obviously, you're going to need a mic, preferably a condenser microphone. Very low noise, and then you're going to need, a cable to go along with that, and then a mic stand. And you're also going to need some sort of audio interface with phantom power, most likely, if you're going to be using a condenser microphone. And then you're also going to want some sort of recording software. Audacity is completely free, and it also has some effects. Reaper, you have a long trial, and then it's $60 to buy.
Yep.
And it also comes with quite a few effects. You're going to want stuff like, as you see later, it's got reverb, compression, and EQ. For a lot of the effects that you create, you're going to want to put some EQ and stuff like that in order to make them sound more realistic.
Yeah. And then the sample rate you're going to be recording at will depend on the source of material you're recording. For example, most things you're probably going to be fine with 44.1 kilohertz. That works fine for music as well. But if you're recording like footsteps in grass or some kind of like orchestra effects or something, you're going to probably want to record at 96 kilohertz or higher. But beware that 96 kilohertz and higher pretty much doubles your file size, especially if you're recording in WAV files. So keep that in mind when you're with your computer. So I guess that's pretty much all you're going to need to record some sound effects. So
we're going to go to a little demonstration to show our setup and how we created this little swishing sound that you're going to hear in a second.
Yep.
So the setup for this sound effects demonstration is fairly simple, actually. As you can see, we've got the mic here. This is an SM58, but the mic we actually used was an 80 CM88 small diaphragm condenser, but I didn't bring that today, so this is our stand-in mic. You don't really want to use a dynamic mic for this. It's not going to be sensitive enough for your subtle sound effects. And we just got that on a mic stand, mic cable going to the interface, and it's a pretty simple setup. And this thing is like a piece of plastic molding, and we found that it actually works fairly well for creating a sort of whoosh sound that we wanted for our intro video. And we'll show you the finished product without the music here in a second. So all I'm doing to create that sound is just throwing this in front of the mic. And once that's recorded, I did it a few times and we got several clips of it. And then we went in and processed it, and we'll talk about that later in the video. But right now we're going to go into a clip of the intro that we created for our videos. And it's just going to have the sound effect, and it was set up just like this. And that way you can hear exactly what you could do from scratch easily just in your own home studio.
So the sound clip that you just heard, we already went through and post-processed it. We added some compression first to cut down on the peak a little bit and bring out the tail at the end. Then we added some EQ after that, and then after that we added a big long reverb to give it a nice sound to the swoosh.
Yep. So it's completely, as you saw in a little demonstration, we just used this thing, which is,
it's like plastic molding
it's
for
some
a picture
sort of
frame.
Yeah, it's with sound effects, it's a lot of experimentation, and I've seen people create explosions and stuff like that by smashing hammers into things and we had the idea of actually making like a little popper things that, you know, like party popper things
Yeah,
for
paper.
explosions. I've seen that done. And then I've even seen people take like hammers to Xboxes.
Yeah, or like melons or something.
Yeah, to make all kinds of different sounds for like video games and stuff. But all this stuff can be created and used for music
Yeah.
and things like that as well. Some cool intros or interludes and stuff like that. So get creative with it. And if you actually do have, if you create something, send it to us or post it on the forum. And we would really be interested in hearing what you guys come up with. It'd be
Yep.
really cool.
So this week's viewer question is about which mic you should choose when recording a distorted guitar cab.
Yeah, there's going to be lots of choices.
Yeah.
On the lower end side of things, for about $100, you've got the all classic SM57 from Shure, pretty much industry standard for miking guitar cabs.
Yep.
Sort of its rival, at least in the past few years, at least, has been the Audix i5, and it's also $100. So
Yeah.
it's competing pretty much directly with the SM57.
Yeah.
And then in the higher end sort of things, you've got the Sennheiser MD421, and that what's that run?
It's like $380 or something.
Yeah.
US.
And then you've also got the SM7B from Shure, which we actually reviewed, so you can actually type that into our search bar on our YouTube page to see
Yeah.
the review of that mic.
Yeah, and you can hear clips of that as well.
Yep.
And we've got clips of the SM57 on pretty much every other video except for that video. So
And that's about what is that?
I think it's 350.
350, yeah. And then also I've heard good things about the Electro Voice RE20, which is another SM7B-like mic. And it's about $400, give or take. So on the higher end, there's lots of choices. On the lower end, it's pretty much SM57 and the Audix i5 for a close miking of a, you know, dynamic mic, close mic'd on a cab.
Yep.
So, yep, I think it's going to do it for that viewer question.
Yep.
And you're going to go into...
Pro Tools software tip.
Yep.
All right, so here we are inside of Pro Tools, and today I'm going to show you how to clear unused regions in your Pro Tools project. You may be wondering, why would you even want to clear regions? And well, the reason why is because these regions are unused, so you have no use for them, and they take up additional space on your hard drive, which could be saved if you delete them, and they also clutter up your project. As you can see, they're all named pretty much the same thing except with different extensions. So a good thing to do is to clear out your regions every now and then. I like to clear them out pretty much every time before I save the project. And to do this, you just want to go up here to this little arrow here on the right hand of your regions box here, and then click that little arrow, go down to select unused regions. So this is going to select all the unused files in the regions box. You can also select all of them and delete them, or select offline files, or select the unused except for the full whole files. There's also a keyboard shortcut to select these files, and that is Shift Command U on the Mac. So we're going to go ahead and click unused, and as you can see, it selected the unused files or the unused regions in this session. And once you do that, just hit the clear, right click and clear, and then you can either remove them, which will just remove them from here, they'll still be in the project folder, or you can delete them permanently, which deletes them from your hard drive. I like to do this so I can save space on my hard drive. So we'll just hit delete, and it's going to ask you for every single one of these files if you're sure you want to delete them, and say yes, yes, yes. And you have to do this for every single file, some kind of Pro Tools glitch. And as you can see, all the unused regions have been deleted. So this really clears up your project, and hopefully this helps you out. So we'll see you next time on another episode of Limitless Studios TV.